Okay, let's unpack this. You know those moments when you're lying in bed, it's a 1:00 a.m., the house is quiet, and you're just doom scrolling.
Hmm.
You're swiping past dance trends, cooking hacks, cat videos, and then you hit something that just stops you cold. It's not flashy, it's not loud.
But it feels wrong.
Yeah.
It's that sensation of stumbling upon a glitch in the matrix,
Yeah.
something that feels like it's bleeding out of the screen and into your actual reality.
Exactly. And today, we are diving into exactly that kind of rabbit hole. We're looking at a saga that took over a corner of the internet starting back in April 2024.
And honestly, looking at the data, people are still obsessed with it now in early 2026.
They really are. We are talking about the man in the shed.
This is a fascinating case study because it's not some produced Netflix documentary. It's raw, organic folklore.
Right.
Our source material today is this sprawling archive of TikTok uploads from a creator named Alec Schaal, combined with thousands and thousands of user comments, reaction videos, and amateur sleuthing that spans nearly 2 years.
And our mission is to figure out how a 20-second clip of some random guy walking across a lawn turned into this massive collaborative mystery.
A mystery involving police investigations, city zoning records.
And some genuinely spooky obituaries.
Yeah, and we should be clear right from the jump. We aren't here to tell you that time travel is, scientifically proven.
No.
We are here to report on the phenomenon. We're going to look at the visual evidence, the technical anomalies, and there are some weird ones, and the incredible way the community built a myth around this one backyard shed.
So let's set the scene. It's April 28, 2024. Alex Schaal checks his security camera footage.
The timestamp is 2:38 p.m. It's a bright, sunny afternoon, and he sees a man walking across his backyard.
Now, usually when we review security footage of trespassers, there's a specific body language we look for.
We call it scanning behavior. Shoulders up, head on a swivel, checking for cameras moving fast.
Right, the I shouldn't be here walk.
Exactly. But this guy, he doesn't have that. He's an older gentleman wearing glasses, a t-shirt.
And he is just strolling.
He is walking with the absolute confidence of a man who owns the property. He walks straight up to Alec's backyard shed, opens the door, and steps inside.
And here is the hook that grabbed millions of people. Alec claims he watched the footage 1 million times. The camera keeps rolling. The man goes in.
But he never comes out.
He never comes out.
That is the locked room mystery that creates the viral spark. In a linear timeline, what enters a space must exit that space, unless it remains there.
But Alec's immediate framing of the event wasn't, I have a squatter, it was.
Time traveler.
Which is a bold leap. But before we get into the sci-fi stuff, we have to look at the sort of boring reality.
Oh, yeah.
Because the internet detectives, the skeptics, were all over this immediately. And looking at the source video, they found a pretty big problem with the he never left claim.
They did. If you look at the timestamp in the corner of the video feed, you see the man enter at 2:38 p.m. The door closes.
Yeah.
And then there is a jump.
The timestamp skips.
Right, from 2:38 p.m. to 2:57 p.m.
That is a 19-minute gap. That's huge.
It's an eternity in security terms.
Mm-hmm.
User DMoneyNet was one of the first to point this out in the comments. Their argument was pure technical pragmatism.
They said, this is a camera glitch.
Yeah, most wireless security cameras operate on a sleep-wake cycle to save battery. They rely on a motion sensor to trigger the recording.
So the theory is, the camera records him walking in. Then, once he's inside and the motion stops, the camera goes back to sleep.
And he spends 10 minutes in there, maybe looks around, and walks out. But for whatever reason, maybe he walked out slowly, maybe the sensor was lagging, the camera didn't wake up.
It didn't catch the exit.
Precisely. It's the tree falls in the forest problem. If the camera didn't record him leaving, did he really leave? Logically, yes.
User Dave jumped in with a great anecdote about his own cameras. He said his system is so glitchy that his dogs constantly appear to teleport across the yard.
Because the camera just misses the walk in between.
Right. And another user, Riley, suggested it might not even be a motion sensor issue, but a clip issue.
Like it records in 3-minute blocks.
Exactly. And it takes a minute to reset and upload. So if you time your exit during that upload window, you are invisible.
So we have a very plausible explanation. Technology failure. But here is where the story pivots. Because Alec didn't just accept the glitch theory.
No, he escalated it into the physical world.
He called the police.
This is the part that really surprised me. Usually with internet hoaxes, you keep it contained. You don't involve the authorities.
Because filing a false report is a crime.
Right, but we have footage of the cops arriving.
We do. We see the officers sweeping the perimeter. They approach the shed with caution. They open the door. Empty. Completely empty. No squatter hiding behind the lawnmower. No older gentleman.
See, that gives me chills, because if we accept the glitch theory that he walked out during the 19-minute gap, fine. But if he didn't walk out, and the cops say he isn't there, where is he?
This is where the community fractured into different camps. You had the skeptics, but then you had the engineers, let's call them.
Yeah.
User Johnny Garcia was absolutely convinced this was a physical mystery.
He proposed the bunker theory.
The bunker theory.
I saw that. He thought the man was tunneling.
He suggested that maybe there was a hidden trap door or a subterranean room beneath the shed.
Like a prepper.
Yeah, the idea being that this man is some sort of prepper or squatter who has been living underneath Alec's backyard without him knowing.
Which is horrifying in its own way. I think I prefer a ghost to a mole man living under my floorboards.
It is certainly a more tangible threat. But then you have the biological camp. We have to talk about the bathroom theory.
Oh, users Juan Gomez and Lee Cakes, they did not mince words.
They were very direct.
Yeah.
Their theory was that this was just an elderly neighbor out for a walk who had a sudden, urgent gastrointestinal emergency.
He saw a shed, hoped it was unlocked, went in to do his business, and slipped out while the camera was buffering.
Honestly.
It feels like the most realistic explanation for the confidence we talked about earlier.
It does.
When you have to go, you don't care about trespassing laws. You walk with purpose.
It fits the behavioral profile perfectly. But here's the thing. Old man uses shed as toilet. Does not get millions of views.
No.
Time traveler vanishes into portal does. The narrative Alec constructed tapped into a desire for the impossible.
But there were plenty of people saying Alec was faking the whole thing, right? The hoax theory?
Oh, absolutely. The most common accusation was that the time traveler was just Alec himself, dressed up in old age makeup and a wig.
The standard Scooby-Doo explanation, it's always the guy in the mask.
But Alec actually fought back against this one. He posted a video walking side by side with the figure, or a recreation of the figure, to show they had different builds and heights.
And that's where the internet did what the internet does best. They didn't accept the rebuttal, they twisted it.
They moved from "it's Alec in a disguise" to "it's Alec from the future."
I love this theory. User Real Grunge Daddy brought up the time traveler's wife. The idea that this is a future version of Alec who traveled back to 2024.
To check on his property, or maybe check on his younger self.
It's a compelling narrative hook. It explains why the man knew exactly where the shed was. It explains why he looked comfortable.
And why he vanished. He just returned to his own timeline. It turns a breaking and entering case into a sentimental sci-fi drama.
Future Alec is a fun idea. But while some people were writing fan fiction, other people were doing actual digital forensics. And this is where the story gets really weird for me.
This is the OSINT open source intelligence aspect of the deep dive.
Right.
The commenters started scouring the web for faces that matched the low-resolution security footage. And they found a name.
Stephen Albert Miller. Or Steve Miller.
Right. Users found photos of a man named Stephen Albert Miller, who passed away in 2018. They started doing side-by-side comparisons of his brow ridges, his hairline, his glasses.
And looking at the sources, the resemblance is spooky. I mean, it's blurry footage, so your brain fills in the gaps, but...
You can see why people latched onto it.
For sure.
It's likely a case of pareidolia seeing patterns where there might not be any. But the community was convinced. And Alec, to his credit or his detriment, leaned hard into this. He claimed to have found this man's obituary online.
This part actually creeped me out. He reads from the guest book of the obituary, and he highlights a specific comment left by a family member or friend.
It just said, "See you soon."
See you soon. Now, in the context of grief, that's a beautiful sentiment. It means, I will join you in the afterlife one day.
It's hopeful.
But when you rip that sentence out of an obituary and paste it onto a mystery about a time-traveling intruder, it becomes a threat. It sounds like, I'm coming back.
It changes the meaning entirely. It creates this narrative bridge between the living and the dead. And then the plot thickened. User Brit dug up another lead.
She claimed there was a user named Steve Miller in New Mexico who was active on Reddit.
Specifically asking questions about the mechanics of time travel.
Okay, so now we have a deceased man, an ominous "see you soon" message, and a Reddit history of researching time travel. even if these are three totally different Steve Millers.
This story binds them together.
Mm-hmm.
That is the power of collaborative storytelling. The audience is aggregating unrelated data points to build a cohesive lore.
They are writing the script in real time.
Exactly.
Speaking of writing the script, we have to talk about the wardrobe. Because there was a clue that felt almost too on the nose. The shirt the man was wearing.
Ah, yes. The guest shirt.
In the video, the man walks into the shed wearing a t-shirt with the word guess printed across the chest.
User Shellax Havoc pointed this out and suggested it wasn't just a fashion choice. She argued it was a literal command to the audience.
Guess who I am? Guess what is happening?
It does feel like a riddle from a Batman villain. But here's where it gets confusing. Later in the saga, he is described as wearing a black shirt with patches on it.
Right, the wardrobe anomaly. If he goes in wearing guess and comes out wearing patches, did he change clothes? And if so, why?
Unless this shed is a transition point. If he traveled from a different time, maybe he arrived in one outfit and left in another.
Or, if we play the skeptic, Alec filmed 2 different clips on 2 different days and spliced them together.
But in the world of the story, the shirt change signals a shift in reality. It suggests that the man who left isn't in the same state as the man who entered.
Which leads us perfectly to the departure. Because Alec did eventually post a video that claims to show the aftermath. It's titled, "Where Does the Time Traveler Go After Leaving?"
And it involves a blue car. This piece of footage is probably the most visually contested part of the entire saga.
We see the man, or a man, walking toward a blue sedan parked on the street, but the car itself glitches.
It does. User Archer Hunt did a frame-by-frame breakdown that is really compelling. The camera feed stutters, it freezes or drops frames.
Before the stutter, if you look at the driver's seat of that blue car, it is empty. You can see the headrest. There's no one there.
And then
The camera glitches, and when it comes back a split second later, there is a driver sitting in the seat.
they just pop into existence.
Seemingly out of thin air. Now, again, this could be a bad edit. A jump cut, where Alec paused recording, his friend got in the car, and he hit record again.
But visually, it looks like teleportation.
And the interaction between the man and this glitch driver is weird, too. Alec describes the man walking up to the car with his arms out, palms up.
Like he was delivering bad news.
Yeah, like, I didn't find it.
That body language is crucial. It implies a mission. If we go back to the future self theory, imagine you travel back 20 years to retrieve something from your shed. A stash of money, a photo album, a hard drive. You get there. You break in.
And it's gone.
Maybe you sold the shed. Maybe your past self threw it away.
Exactly. You walk back to the car, your getaway vehicle, and you tell the driver it wasn't there. The resignation in that walk sells the story.
But why not go back and try again? User Buckaroo had a theory about that.
What'd they say?
They said portals aren't used twice.
Which is a very convenient rule for a mystery. It explains why the shed didn't become a train station for time travelers.
It was a one-time door. User Moonlight had a darker take, suggesting the shed is a deal spot or a drop-off point involving a back passage to another place.
Alex seemed to realize that the shed itself was becoming the main character, so he escalated the surveillance.
You put a camera inside the shed.
This is where the saga shifts tone a bit. We get 11 days of continuous recording of the interior of a garden shed.
And does the time traveler return?
No. But something happens. A piece of paper falls off a shelf.
That's it. A piece of paper falls.
That is the big event. But Alec captions it in all caps. Paper falling down is time travel.
Okay, so at this point, he has to be trolling us, right? But that feels like he's winking at the audience.
Oh, absolutely. The self-awareness really kicks in here. Alec even started joking in the comments about installing coin-operated laundry machines in the shed so he could monetize the time travelers.
He knows he's running a show. He knows the audience is hungry for anything, even a falling piece of paper.
But just when you think it's all become a joke, he pivots back to evidence. And this was the part that felt the most grounded to me. The city records angle.
This was the regulatory chapter of the mystery. Alec released information claiming that the city had flagged that specific shed for code violations dating back to 2003.
And it wasn't just your shed is too tall. He said the issue was that the shed was affixed to the ground.
Right. It wasn't a temporary structure sitting on the grass. It was anchored deeply.
Which implies you don't want it to move, or you don't want what is inside it to get out.
That was the implication the commenters ran with. User Lynn suggested looking into the previous owners from 20 years ago. The theory became that the previous owner didn't build a tool shed. They built a containment unit.
I love how this shifts the genre again. We went from true crime to sci-fi, and now we are in bureaucratic horror.
Like the secret to the universe isn't in the stars, it's in the zoning permits at City Hall.
It grounds the fantasy in mundane reality. It makes it feel verifiable. If there are city records, it must be real, right?
And that feeling of it must be real is why we are still talking about this in 2026. I was looking through the comment archive, and I saw a user named Our Thwart-Headed Stepchild commenting just last month.
In January 2026.
The algorithm is a circle. New viewers stumble onto the video today. They don't look at the dates, and the mystery starts all over again for them. It's a digital ghost story that refuses to die because the audience keeps writing new chapters.
So let's zoom out. We have glitchy cameras, a dead man named Steve Miller, a vanishing blue car, and a shed anchored to the earth.
When you look at this whole picture, what are we really looking at? Why did this specific video break people's brains?
I think The Man in the Shed is the perfect storm of three very modern psychological triggers. First, you have technological anxiety.
The fear that our machines are lying to us.
Exactly. We trust our security cameras to be the objective truth. When they glitch, when timestamps jump 19 minutes, it undermines our sense of reality. We wonder, what happened in the dark? What did I miss?
It makes you feel vulnerable. Second, you have the desire for magic. We talked about the bathroom theory. It's logical, but it's boring. We want the world to be stranger than it is. We want the man to be a time traveler, because that implies that death isn't the end.
It implies that mistakes can be fixed.
It's hope, disguised as a mystery.
And the third?
Gamification. Alec Schaal didn't just tell a story, he built a sandbox. He gave the audience puzzle pieces, the guest shirt, the obituary, the police footage.
The commenters weren't just watching a TV show, they were playing a game. They were the detectives.
That is such a key point. We feel ownership over the story because we helped write it. Whether Steve Miller's the guy or not, he is part of the lore because we put him there.
Precisely. The Man in the Shed is a collaborative fiction created by a million people staring at a blurry screen, desperately connecting the dots.
It really makes you look at your own backyard a little differently.
It does. I have a shed. And honestly, after reading through all these sources, I'm wondering if I should check the timestamps on my own feeds.
Just do me a favor. If you see an older version of yourself walking across the lawn, don't go out there.
That brings me to the final question I wanted to leave you with today. We talked a lot about the future self theory, the idea that the man was Alec coming back to visit.
Right.
Put yourself in that position. You are standing in your kitchen, holding your coffee cup. You look out the window, you see yourself, 20 years older, gray hair, walking with confidence. Go into your backyard shed.
Okay.
And, for a fact, they never come out. Do you go in after them? Do you try to find out why you came back? Or do you lock that door, board it up, and never acknowledge it again?
That is the ultimate question. Curiosity versus survival.
I think I'd board it up. I think I want to know what future me has to say.
I think I might just move. Sell the house, leave the shed, let the next owner deal with the portal.
I'm with you. This has been The Deep Dive. Thanks for exploring the timeline with us.
Stay curious.
And watch your timestamps. See you next time.